There is a kind of power that cannot be shouted, a strength that doesn't need to be proven. It's the kind of power that comes from silence. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that silence is not the absence of sound, it's the presence of control. When you learn to be silent, you no longer react, you respond. You no longer seek attention, you command respect. In a world obsessed with noise, silence becomes your ultimate rebellion. If you're here, you're not like most people. You don't want noise, you want transformation. You want mastery over your mind. And this begins right now. Before we go deeper, take a second, subscribe to Menzi, and turn on the notification bell. This journey isn't just about learning Stoicism, it's about becoming unshakable. Silence is not passive, it's not weakness. Silence is the highest form of discipline. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." In a single line, he revealed the power of restraint. To hold your tongue when others lose theirs. To stay calm when the world screams for chaos. That is mastery. The first lesson of the Stoic Art of Silence is this: control your speech, and you control your reality. Most people talk to prove themselves. The wise speak to improve themselves. Every unnecessary word is an energy leak, a distraction from your purpose. Epictetus warned, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Listening is not submission, it's awareness. Silence allows you to observe what others miss, the patterns, the motives, the truth beneath appearances. When you practice silence, you learn to see without reacting. You realize that the loudest voice in the room is rarely the strongest. Strength whispers. Confidence doesn't need applause. The Stoic stands still amid noise because he knows who he is. The second lesson: silence creates power through detachment. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." When you're silent, you separate what happens from what you think about it. You break the habit of reacting emotionally to every situation. Instead, you pause, you breathe, you observe. That pause is sacred. It's where your true power is born. Try this. When someone insults you, don't rush to defend yourself. Instead, remain quiet. Feel the discomfort. Watch the impulse to react. Then realize their insult only has power if you give it meaning. Silence dissolves their control over you. You win not by fighting, but by refusing to play their game. The third lesson: silence is a weapon against the ego. The ego thrives on noise, on opinions, arguments, recognition. But the Stoic knows that ego is an illusion. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." Ego craves validation. Silence starves it. The more silent you become, the less you need to prove anything. Detach yourself from the need to be understood by everyone. You were not born to explain yourself. You were born to live in alignment with reason and virtue. When you understand that, you become untouchable. The fourth lesson: silence deepens focus. The modern mind is overstimulated. Constant notifications, endless opinions, fake urgency. But the Stoic cultivates solitude like a warrior sharpens his blade. In silence, you hear your own thoughts clearly. You see your priorities without distortion. The man who practices silence becomes productive without pressure, creative without chaos. Try spending 1 hour a day in complete silence. No phone, no music, no talking. Just you and your mind. At first, it will feel unbearable, but over time, it becomes sacred. Because in that silence, you will begin to see yourself as you truly are, stripped of distraction, stripped of lies. The fifth lesson: silence is how you connect to reason, the Stoic Logos. The Stoics believed that everything in the universe is governed by reason. To act in harmony with it is to live well. Silence allows you to hear that reason within yourself. When you quiet the noise, your intuition, the voice of the Logos, begins to guide you. That's why Marcus Aurelius would write in his journal every morning before dawn, not to impress anyone, but to align himself with truth, to remind himself that the external world is noise, and that the internal world, governed by reason, is peace. The sixth lesson: silence transforms pain into strength. When you stop complaining, you start healing. Seneca wrote, "Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men. Every hardship you face is a forge. When you suffer in silence, not as a victim, but as an observer, pain becomes your teacher. You start to see that life's blows don't break you, they refine you. Next time you feel wronged or misunderstood, resist the urge to explain yourself. Instead, stay silent and act with dignity. Your silence will echo louder than words ever could, because silence in adversity is not emptiness, it's elegance." The seventh lesson: silence helps you conserve energy. Every time you react emotionally, gossip, or argue over things you can't control, you lose energy. The Stoics knew that energy is sacred. It should be spent only on what you can influence: your thoughts, your actions, your attitude. Silence allows you to store power like a battery. So when life demands strength, you have reserves, others don't. Think of Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, commander of armies, ruler of millions. Yet he wrote quietly to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." He didn't need to shout his strength, he lived it. His silence was his sovereignty. The eighth lesson: silence is the path to peace. The Stoics didn't aim for happiness as we know it today. They aimed for tranquility, ataraxia, a calm state of mind untouched by chaos. You reach that state through silence. Because silence is not about retreating from the world, it's about mastering yourself within it. When you walk through life without reacting to every noise, you become free. You're not controlled by others' opinions. You're not disturbed by temporary chaos. You exist in the calm eye of every storm. That's what Stoicism is about, not indifference, but inner dominance. So how do you live this philosophy daily? Start by practicing 3 habits. 1. Morning silence. Begin each day without distractions. Before touching your phone, sit in quiet reflection. Ask yourself, what kind of person will I choose to be today? 2. Reactive silence. Whenever you feel provoked, pause, breathe, count to 10 before responding. Master that pause, and you master your life. 3rd, evening silence. End each day in reflection. Ask yourself, what did I do well? What could I improve? What did I let disturb my peace? This ritual rewires your mind for growth and calm. Over time, these small acts of silence will rebuild you from within. You'll become calm under pressure, wise under chaos, and powerful without aggression. Remember, silence is not emptiness, it's the presence of everything that matters. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." That's the essence of the Stoic art of silence. The world may be loud, but your mind doesn't have to be. If this message resonates with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to Menzi and turn on the notification bell, because the path to wisdom is not walked once, it's practiced every day. Stay silent, stay strong, Stay unshakable.